7.3%. So if we are at, say, starting at 2019 levels, in 5 years' time we should be looking at a 40% rise, or should it be a 50% rise? I think that template is very necessary, because depending on that, the skilling volumes, the investment volumes, the infrastructure volumes will be different. So I just wanted to flag these three issues. As far as the tea sector is concerned, would you like to speak? Should I finish up in one go? It will be better. I think as far as the tea sector is concerned, as you know, the tea industry is spread all over Assam. We are very fortunate. We have the advantage of a legacy of very beautiful tea bungalows, which are being used even at present. There are about 7 to 9 projects which are functioning, from North Bank to South Bank, in Jorhat, in Tinsukia, in Dibrugarh, which are all doing reasonably well. And these generally offer a combination of ecotourism, nature tourism, pilgrimage also, because many of these temples are very close by, adventure tourism, and wildlife. So the tea estates near and around the national sanctuaries are good destinations for wildlife tourism. But what really we need to do is look at adventure tourism in a more pronounced manner, because adventure activity in terms of rappelling, rock climbing, hot ballooning, you see, the population in India is young now. We are 29 to 35 range, and we will remain so till 2047. So therefore, the people who come in are looking for more activity. We need skills which will upskill to this, towards these, and these are expertise that is required to be provided institutionally for people to adapt. From a tea perspective, these things apart, there is another advantage that we have. Assam has the largest density of golf courses. These are not pro courses, these are not professional golfing circuits, but these are club courses, ideal for leisure golf. You have a golf course starting from Jorhat Gymkhana to Dibrugarh. There is one in Moran, there is one in Naharkatia, Tingrai, Margarita, Nikkoya, Duleja, of course, a golf course. Here on North Bank, from Misa in Nagaon, Vishwanath, Mangaldai in Paneri. So, nowhere else in the country you will find so many golf courses in the vicinity, and these are all being managed by tea clubs. Now, there could be an option of providing a grant to these clubs to allow tourists who come in to use these courses, so that these courses are better maintained, and that would be an added advantage. And third, for us, as far as the skilling is concerned, in a tea garden you have workers, you have residents, and you have workers' children who are not very interested in joining the tea estates anymore. Now, most of them are school qualified, many of them are school dropouts who got literacy skills but not enough to fetch themselves very good jobs outside. I think this population could be diverted, skilled through ITIs, through looking at trades like the chef, hospital, restaurant management, hospitality management, etc., to look at a pool of people who could cater in-house and benefit from this tourist activity. So this is in a nutshell the scenario in the tea estates. We are very thankful for the government of Assam for allowing 5% of the tea land to be used for tourism and other alternate activities. In addition, there is a 100 crore allotment that is made for 50 gardens, 2 crores per garden, which I am sure is going to make a difference. I recently visited Toklai. I have seen the guest houses being done up under this scheme, and I think a silent revolution is on its way. But the tea operators feel that a lot more publicity is required. A lot of people don't know about it. Publicity is required. We need an institutional mechanism to get inquiries, which we will then be able to mature. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for giving the general perspective about the tea tourism and the tourism as an industry and sustainability. May I request Jayanta Das ji, because he is the area director for ISCL, And talking about the hospitality and tourism are well connected. And may I request you to say something about the opening remark on Assam as emerging as tourist destination or other part of the Northeast and in India in general, if you could add up.
Very good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank the Department of Skill, Kalyanji is here, Government of Assam for organizing this summit, and IndiGlobal Media House for taking the trouble of putting it together. So I represent an organization which is Indian Hotels Company Limited, where the flagship brand of ours is the Taj. And with a lot of humility, we are an organization which has been acknowledged in the year 2022 as the strongest hospitality brand in the world and the strongest brand in India across all sectors. So that's briefly about my organization. We are from the House of Tatas, and our ISCL is almost 122 years old, and our flagship hotel is the Taj Mahal Hotel at Mumbai. We are an organization which is known for creating destinations. So Goa would not have been probably on the tourism map till ISCL decided to set up hotel as early as 1960s at the Fort Agoda and the Holiday Village. Similarly, we were the pioneer in terms of creating a hospitality ecosystem in Kerala, and we were the first one to set up hotels in locations not only in Kochi but even in interiors of Kovalam, Baker, Varkala, etc. Similar the story probably in Andamans. So in many of the destinations, we were the first as an organization to set up a hospitality ecosystem. Currently, we have a lot of focus on Northeast. We, as an industry leader, we understand that the government of India today, over the last 8-9 years, we see there's a huge focus in terms of development in Northeast. And most of the state governments, particularly the government in Assam, are absolutely focused in terms of development. And I think tourism is one sector that can really be a pivotal in terms of driving economy in Assam and entire Northeast. And we find a lot of positivity in the environment where, as an organization, we would like to partner the governments in the developmental scheme that we have. So with that concept in mind, Vivanta Guwahati was the first hotel that we had in Northeast, which became operational in 2015 December. So which is around 7 years now, 8th year, into the 8th year. From one hotel in 2015 in Northeast, in the next 3 to 4 months, we would actually have 8 hotels in Northeast. So that speaks volume about the intention that we have in driving tourism and across the region. As I talk to you, in the next two months, we would have our first hotel, Vivanta, coming up as remote as Tawang, okay, which is in Arunachal. So we already have a hotel that we opened up in Gangtok, close to the airport in Pakyong. In the next 3 months, we would have one more Taj resort coming up in Gangtok, a Ginger coming in Gangtok. And then, of course, we have a beautiful Taj resort, though not part of Northeast, but Chiakuti, which is in Kashiong, is almost part of an extension of Northeast. We opened up in November the first 5-star hotel in Shillong, which is the Vivanta Shillong. And as I talk today, we have around 14 hotels that we are at different level of discussion, most of them in Assam, and few of them in Manipur, in Nagaland, also in Mizoram and Tripura. We found when it comes to Assam, I think the government has been extremely proactive in supporting the industry. We have been very, very fortunate to have a very dynamic leadership in the state, which the reflection is that today Assam has given a status of industry to tourism. This speaks volume about the intention that the leadership of the state has. Not too many states actually has given that status. So I think that's something which is very, very encouraging for us. As an hospitality chain, we are working very closely with the government on different PPP models. So we have a project which we are at a very final stage of discussion. We already signed an MOU with the government of Assam with regards to a project in Manas. Mr. Raj spoke about tea tourism. We have our own sister concern, the amalgamated plantations. We've got beautiful gardens in Hathikuli, which is close to Kaziranga. And that's where we propose to set our Taj Resort. At Misa, we spoke about golf. Amalgamated again has a beautiful golf resort there. That's where we would like to, a golf course there. That's where we would like to come up with a golf resort. Apart from that, close to the airport, we're coming up with one more Vivanta property, and the idea is to upgrade the existing Vivanta that we have to a Taj brand. Apart from that, we actually closed 2 hotels, a Ginger at Jorhat and a Ginger at Dibrugarh, and we are looking at 2 more tea resorts, one at Dibrugarh and one in Guwahati itself. So there's a lot that we're trying to do in Assam, a few of them on a PPP model with the government, and few on with other private investors. And similar the story that we are trying to do in other states. In Manipur, we are working on a couple of projects on PPP models at Imphal and Loktak, and at Agartala, as I say, and also at Dimapur in Nagaland. So we strongly feel that Northeast is definitely going to be the next tourism hub, and I think over the next 3 to 4 years, I think the cycle has just started. In the next 3 to 4 years, we will probably be a destination where not only domestic leisure, we would expect our target source markets could be even Europe, US, and other places in the West. And I think that's where we're looking at. Currently, what we are doing is not just creating hospitality projects, but also create a proper tourism ecosystem. And that's where, as an organization, we thought hospitality is something that comes naturally to us from people from the Northeast. And we have the younger generations. You go to any of the metro cities, you'll find people from Northeast working extremely hard, doing very well in all major cities, working in the restaurants, working in different hospitality projects. But what they probably lack is a proper certification or a formal education. And that's where I think they lack the recognition. And understanding that there's a huge potential of tourism, and we are coming up with quite a few infrastructure. Again, with the active support of the government, Kalyanji's department has been kind to support us. We are coming up with an hospitality skill certification center at Sonarpur, where the government of Assam, Ministry of Skill, Government of India, our own Tata Stripe, which is part of Tata Trust, and ISCL, where we're building the knowledge hub, have come together, and the hospitality skill center that we are proposing, we should start in the next few days. And I want everyone to hear that. This would be a center of excellence in terms of hospitality skill center in the country. And that's how we're looking at it. So as I talk, we already have 60 students enrolled in 2 verticals, which is front office and F&B service. But our plan is to have students also in other departments, kitchen, housekeeping and spa. Because we have a huge talent, huge resource. We want to channelize them, and the idea is they spend around 3 to 4 months at the institute, and jointly, the 4 stakeholders that we take care of almost the entire cost, including the residential facilities that we have there, and the hotels that we have across Northeast to give the opportunity of industry exposure to the students. So within a 6 to 8 months, they will all be qualified and certified to work in any 5-star hotels. And our plan is the way that we would like to take this entire program, that if not 100%, at least a majority of them should be absorbed in our own organization, ICL. And that's where we are in the entire plan that we have. So we are extremely positive, extremely bullish when it comes to hospitality and tourism in Assam and across Northeast. And as I said, I think we have a very positive environment. And as an organization from the House of Tatas, we definitely want to like to partner the government in this initiative. Talking about tea tourism, it's not only about setting up of large hotels or resorts. We also have a beautiful vertical of ours, like we have the Taj, the Vivanta, the Ginger. We also have a vertical called the Amas Stays and Trails, which is a vertical which is more of a luxury homestays. So it all started actually 3 years back because from a Tata company we had few of those amazing bungalows, the inspection bungalows at different locations of Lonavalas, Khandala from Tata Power. Tata Coffee had them in Coorg, Tata Tea had in Munnar. So they were all underutilized. And we had around 20 of them. And then it was a thought which was floated by our group chairman that why can't we convert them to a different vertical of luxury homestays where ISL could manage that. So it started on that note. Idea was to see how we could drive revenues through those 20 bungalows that we had. But today, as I talk to you, in over a 3 years period, we have around 70 amas across the country, and we feel when it comes to tea tourism, amas will have a very definite role. So we are already working and discussing with different tea estates, amalgamated, and other tea companies, where this vertical could actually come up as an alternative hospitality platform for the tea gardens. Okay, so that's what our thought is. Thank you.
For providing wonderful information. In fact, some of the information is new to me as well. I was sitting next to him. I was also updated with the information. Thank you very much, Jayanta ji.
Thank you.
So I will move on to the next panelist, Mr. Arijit Purkayas ji. He is the director of Koeli Tours and Travels Private Limited. I may request you to say something on the trends in tourism and untapped tourist destinations. Something.
Namaskar, thank you very much. Thank you everyone, organizer. Well, I'm a tour operator. I've been in this trade for almost 31 years. And I've been promoting tourism in the Northeast. That is the inbound, both domestic and inbound, to the 7 states. And we have, during my last 30 years, what I have gathered, the knowledge that tourists coming to our region, they're mostly going to either Kaziranga for 2 nights or to Shillong for 3 nights or 4 nights, and then to Arunachal Pradesh. So basically Guwahati has become a transit destination, except for the Kamakhya temple. Now, People who are coming to Northeast, they are covering within 5 nights, 6 days or 8 nights, 9 days. But we have also noticed that we do not have the repeat tourists. That is a concern. And why we do not have the repeat tourists? Many reasons are there, because every place you have to drive to 6 to 7 hours, not less than that. And then the wayside amenities are not up to the mark. Probably that could be the reason. People going to Kerala 3 times, 4 times, or Goa 6, 7 times. But to our region, only once they come. And why is it so? Now, Assam, if I say we are restricted to only wildlife or to, as I said, Kamakya, but Assam and Northeast has so much to show. In fact, these days the trend has come a show tourism and a slow tourism. Show tourism is something that people, as I said, will cover within 5 nights, 6 days or 8 nights, 9 days. They visit certain areas. Okay, we have not been to Tawang, we have not been to this Shillong, we want to go to Dauki. And everyone in a rush, everyone in a rush. And we have seen the feedback, they're saying that everything was great, but driving was too long. Now, how do we cope this, and how do we target the tourists? So there is another trend has come, is the slow tourism. Now, what is slow tourism? It's for the repeat tourists who would come to this place, who have not been to many places in Assam and other areas. And they will go on their, they will take a leisurely trip. They will make a trip. They will not go to with a Google. They will stop by, get off, and ask people which way to go. And that is what is slow tourism is. Now we have to target those kind of slow tourism. In addition, I would say there is another thing, is that archaeotourism. What is archaeotourism? Now, we have lots of archaeological sites in Assam and Northeast. In fact, the other day I was checking, there are more than 350 archaeological sites only in Assam, forget Northeast. But we have been able to tap them, the tourists, to these places. And most important is that accessible tourism. Now, what is accessible tourism is that? Whether accessible tourism could be, it's called PWD, that is the people with disability, or different kind of disability is there. But that is a huge number of people are coming in other parts. In fact, when they are going to one place, 3 generations are moving together. The grandparent, my mother and my father, who are 80s or 90s, and then me and my wife and my children. So we'll probably take 2 or 3 rooms in each hotel, in each places. And the thing is that we will not only do packing and unpacking like we are doing in 6 nights, 7 days, staying in 2 nights. We'll stay in one place and see those places. Move with the villagers, move with the local people. And there are so many things. In fact, how many of us visited these IITs, which is in North Guwahati? There's so many, because our IIT is, is the Rajdwar, we call it Rajdwar, the King's Gate. This area is called the King's Gate. There are so many temples around there. There's so many histories are there. We have not covered those things. There are many such places. In fact, 10-15 days back with Mr. Ranjit Das and few of our friends, we went to 3 archaeological sites which were pre-Ahom sites. But unfortunately, documentation was not there. We don't know whether it's in 8th century, whether it is a 9th century or 12th century. The same is in North Guwahati. We have some beautiful sites which could be 5th century also. So it is a time we tap these areas, we tap these archaeotourism, we tap these lesser known destinations. There are many of them lesser known destinations. In fact, another thing is that, again, Ranjit and myself were working on it. Let's presume while we are driving, a tourist driving from Guwahati to Kaziranga, arrive Guwahati Airport, straight dive to Kaziranga. But there are so many places of off-roading. We are not stopping them. We are not putting them in our itineraries. So we are coming out. Ranjit has a very great ideas on this, and he will probably speak today on that. That NH37, let's presume NH37 is a journey people are making, but they're stopping by. They're stepping by where? There could be a weekly market. Sunday, if you tell me if you're moving on Sunday, it could be a khetri where you have medicinal plants. More than 100 medicinal plants are there. Aromatic plants are there. So these are the places people would be interested that we have beyond wildlife. We have beyond, these places. But these are not coming out concretely, and which we as a tour operator, I'm a tour operator, Ranjit is a tour operator, and we will able to, we will do our homework on this. We will ask our drivers to make stops in this. There's a weekly market. It could be Monday, Tuesday. You name it. Any day you are traveling, there will be some market between one place to the another. So this is also a part of slow tourism, or also part of the lesser known destinations or lesser known journeys. So we are missing out. When the tourists, they visit our place and they go back, then they realize, oh shit, we have not seen this place. This is in the Facebook, where we are not aware of it. So it is our duty not only to have toilets for the tourists. That is a major hindrance in Assam or Northeast, because every 3 hours or 2 hours there should be, people will say there's a petrol pump up there, why don't you stop by? But these are not up to the mark. So this is where we should progress ourselves with and educate ourselves, our students. We should know our area. We have to go beyond Kaziranga, we have to go beyond Manas, we have to go beyond Tauki. So I think archaeotourism, then accessible tourism is an ideal place for this in our Northeast and particularly Assam. So I think that I will wind up shortly. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Even I got some curiosity, but I will ask the question at the end because the pen went out. So I may request Mr. Ranjit Das ji to the advisor and past president of Tours Operators Association of Assam. May I request you to say something about the industrial aspect of the education, tourism education. Yeah, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our program chair, Kalan Chakrabarti sir, moderator of this session, Rakhi Chakrabarti, distinguished panel members, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, it's indeed an honor to be part of this session here today and as a panelist. And I thank IndiGlobal Bharat Summit for giving me this opportunity. This morning, the Honorable Minister had launched a magazine called Rising Assam. So I just had a glimpse and I was flipping through the pages. I could feel there was so much of vibrancy happening, not just in the tourism sector, in all the sectors. I would really like to go through it in more details, but I could feel the vibrancy. So that vibrancy actually had provoked me to share actually two things to you all. One is a very positive report, and the other is a prediction made by a very renowned personality. The first is the report. UNWTO, United Nations World Tourism Organization, comes out with a World Travel and Tourism Competitive Index, and it covers about 140 countries across the globe. They come out with this report every, I think 4 to 5 years. So last report was in 2017. They measure a set of factors and policies that enable sustainable development of travel and tourism, which in turn contributes to the development and competitiveness of the country. I'm very glad to say that in 2017, we were ranked 40 out of the 140 countries. And today, in 2022, when the report came out, we jumped about 6 places to be the 34th rank. So this itself shows how much is happening in the tourism sector. Its infrastructure, the policies, work on a rich natural and the heritage sites that we have, on the wildlife. So government is giving a lot of importance in tourism, and we are getting very, very price competitive in the world market. So this is one positive thing that is happening in the tourism sector, that we are definitely moving up. The second is a prediction made by a very renowned personality, which we all know. He is Jeffrey Bezos, popularly known as Jeff Bezos, the former CEO and the present executive chairman of Amazon. He predicted recently that 21st century will be the Indian century. And he attributes this to the dynamism, energy, the talk of improvement that is going all around, large working population, and a very young population too, and reimagining the global supply chain through the Make in India. Make in India may change the whole scenario of the supply chain. He also predicts that there will be a huge alliance between America and India. That is between the world's oldest democracy and the world's largest democracy. So with these two, the report and the prediction, I feel very elated. Because from the Northeast perspective also, after the pandemic, we also feel that we are entering into a very vibrant stage for tourism. Things are happening. And more importantly, there is a political will. The recent visit of the G20 delegates, the first Boroland Knowledge Fest that is happening in Kokrajhar, I think starting from today, and many more such events, big events that happened in the past and going to happen in the future, are apt opportunities for tourism to showcase our region in the right perspective, our nature, our culture, and the potential of the region. Because when the delegates that come to these conferences, summits, any such events, they see the place through a different lens altogether. Then they put it in the social media, etc. And this peer-to-peer sharing and engagement eventually enhances the brand image of the region or the state. So it is very important that people come for these events, see the place, share their experiences, share their inspirations, so that more people will come. So I feel there has been a complete turnaround, and this hallmark transformation is due to the development of seamless connectivity, brisk infrastructural development, peace, stability, and inclusiveness. So on this positive note, when there is so much of vibrancy that we can see all around, we have a lot of students in the region doing courses in tourism. As far my knowledge, I think there are about 20 colleges and universities in the state of Assam itself offering courses in tourism. And thousands of students are pursuing their studies with very high aspirations so that they can come into tourism.
Yeah, Ranjit ji, may I request you to a little?
Yeah, just 30 seconds maybe. So what I would say, okay, they are good. They are pursuing studies. So their tourism degree will be an asset for them. But they must complement the studies with some real world learning. Because tourism, we know, is practical, skill oriented, and is entirely dependent on the quality of the service provider. So a little bit of their leadership skill, the decision making skill, multilingual skill. Multilingual, not necessarily on a foreign language. They can learn any Indian language. If a tourist from Maharashtra or Gujarat come, and we welcome them in Marathi or Gujarati, I mean, that will make a different impact altogether. So IT skills, the research, renovation amongst the tourism students, these skills have to be imbibed along with the syllabus, outside the classroom. So networking, attending industry events should be important. So I would like to stress on the industry-academia interaction. So that can play a very important role. And the tourism, and then the institutions can take industry professionals in the board for feedbacks and suggestions. And the faculties can also go for faculty development program to know the industry needs and expectations. So, I mean, the students have to learn more than what the syllabus teaches them. They should go for more real-world learning. That is what I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, I request Dr. Sapna Mediji to say something about the tourism education, community-based tourism or ecotourism, if you can add up some.
Very good evening to everyone present here, respected Program Chair Kalyan Sir, Chakravarti Sarji, and dear respected guests, and my dear students and my esteemed panelists. Actually, my esteemed panelists have already touched upon most of the important points and on diverse aspects. So I would just like to add briefly to what all of them have said. So I would like to draw in again a few key words from all our esteemed panelists, like new concepts of tourism, ecotourism, sustainable development, infrastructure, hospitality, skill development, lesser-known destinations. So all these are very important concepts that have come up, and already many partners are doing their bit in this field to transform the scenario of tourism in entire Northeast and in Assam. And there have been some very encouraging collaborations as well. Even the government of Assam has been doing great wonders in this regard, even the entrepreneurship department also. So, starting, actually, I would like to say that tourism is a labor-intensive industry where all kinds of people have some scope of involvement, like for the skilled labor as well as the unskilled and the semi-skilled labor. So it encompasses various sectors, and all of these sectors together form the umbrella called tourism. So in that case, we see that both skilled as well as semi-skilled and unskilled laborers all have equal scope of employment generation. So when we are saying about tourism development and the development of industry, we can say that infrastructure is very important, which has already been touched upon, and other such aspects. But who man this infrastructure? They are the people, because it is a service-oriented industry. No matter how strong our infrastructure will be, until and unless we train the people to look after those infrastructure, to give the required service to the guests, it might not come up to the mark. A destination might not come up to the mark. And when we speak about a destination, we always have to remember that there are communities residing in those destinations. And tourism, if it has to be sustainable, we have to look at the interests of the local communities as well, because it is their resources most probably that we will be using to develop our infrastructure, and how are they going to benefit from it. And at the same time, when we are skilling the manpower to man these infrastructures, to give service to the tourists, both domestic as well as international, we also have to groom them with the upcoming and the new concepts in this field, like ecotourism, like sustainable tourism, like community-based tourism. Because apart from the skills and the technical knowledge, they also need to imbibe the principles and the ideologies for these concepts, so that we can really make tourism sustainable. Because ultimately, sustainable development is the aim, and all the nations have been striving towards this, because what do we leave forward for our generations? At the same time, when we are speaking about community-based tourism or community-based ecotourism, which is making a buzzword in the tourism industry, we have to look at the interest of the communities. But we all know that most of the local communities are a bit limited in their knowledge of tourism, or how to give those services to the guests which will be expected out of them. So in this case, tourism education and skilling them and hand-holding of these local communities to really welcome guests into their home, where we have the homestay concept which is coming up, and the government of Assam is also doing its bit to develop this concept, and even in other parts of India. So we have to have plans and policies in place so that we can bring up these destinations along with the local communities, and so that tourism does not remain as an enclave, so that the benefits trickle down to the grassroots level, because these resources, after all, with the help and the goodwill of the local communities, can will be sustainable. So it is also about that concern that we have to keep in mind when we are thinking about education and other infrastructural development, and when we try to infuse them with all the new with all the developing concepts, then I think with the technical knowledge that they acquire from all the skilling centers or from the colleges or from the institutes, when they imbibe these concepts, I think it will give them an added advantage, and as well a lot of responsibilities when shouldered by the local communities, it becomes easier for the other stakeholders like the government and the tour operators and the hoteliers and other such stakeholders in this field to take a big leap forward. So I think time is of constraint, and this is such a topic which can go on for hours and hours. So I'd like to limit this to these few points, and I would like to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity and for hearing me out.
Thank you very much, Sakinji. Thanks a lot. Can I take up only one question from the audience, if there is anyone? Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, all of you. But what the ultimate conclusion is that we all have to work hand in hand, and it's a network of the expertise which will yield the actual result. Because when you have heard that everyone is talking about what the programs are available from the government, what the resources, the bio-resources are available with the Northeast states and the Assam as well. But I must say, and you may agree, all of you, that still there is a scope for a lot of improvement to set up this state and the entire Northeast as an example, global example, that how we can improve, and with the holding each other's hand, how we can make the sustenance and the example of the tourism as a global industry. And when it comes to the tea, tea is always in our heart. And I myself work as a plant biotechnologist. I work on the tea biotechnology. So obviously this inclination comes on my side, but the people from here definitely have a lot of attachment with the bioresources, flora and fauna, and the tea as a particular. For you, like Kaziranga, I was hearing is, somewhere we have to popularize, and branding also is also important, because whenever someone comes, that they have to go to the Kaziranga, to be honest, because the travel time is too hard. I mean, it's 7 hours travel time, and when the person is little 70 plus, so I always advise, why you want to go Kaziranga? You go to the Pobitura, it's just 50 kilometers away. So Pobitura, when you go, you will see a lot of rhinos because density is high. So this Pobitura goes somewhere in front of the Kaziranga because of the national popularity. People come with the buzzword as in the words as well. So I feel that it's our responsibility to popularize what we have the resources with us. And it's a responsibility of each and every individual citizen of this country. Thank you very much for this, and then for your attention and listening to us. And thank you very much, panelists, waiting for a long time and have given a lot of information to us. Thank you very much. Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful insights, challenges and opportunities we talk about in tourism. I know it's difficult, but I think that's one of the revenue generators for any state. Thank you a lot. Yes, sure.
Actually, I'd like to take this opportunity. Rekha ji has been, the moderator for this panel discussion, and I must say, she has been taking the entire initiative of putting all of us together. We thought the schedule was going late, but from the very beginning, now this panel is all about tourism and hospitality. I think she was an epitome of hospitality. So thank you.
Thank you so much for actually doing half of our job. May I please call upon Dr. B. Kalyan Chakravarti, IAS Principal Secretary to the Government of Assam, to please join us on the dais to give away the mementos to our speakers here. Can I call upon Shri Arijit Raha, CEO and Secretary General, Indian Tea Association. Can I call upon Shri Janata Das, Area Director, IHCL, Northeast, Kathmandu, Bhutan and Darjeeling. May I call upon Shri Arjit Purkayastha, Director, Koeli Tours and Travels Private Limited. Further, can I call Shri Ranjit Das, Advisor and Past President of Tour Operators Association of Assam. Dr. Shabna Medhi, Assistant Professor, Department of Tourism and Travel Management, Sonapur College, Assam. Last but not the least, for the wonderful moderation, can I please call upon Dr. Rakhi Chaturvedi, Professor and Head Department of Biosciences and Bioengineering, IIT Guwahati.